I have living experience with certain extraterrestrial life forms.
You do?
But in exclusive groups, I've spoken in detail, I've made other people experience these things, very profound experiences of life which is not of this planet. I have to admit, I was stepping into an area where I don't know a damn thing, okay?
Right.
So you could make a mistake and take somebody's life or your own life or something like that.
So,
These are crazy things, man. Why do you want me to speak about this?
no, I don't think that… Which brings us to UFOs.
See, there is some substance and a lot of imagination with this UFO business, because we are always thinking life, like all this… I'm saying this not with any… there are many people who could have experienced something, who could have seen something. I'm saying generally the popular imagination of a UFO, a craft will come and land, somebody will come out of it. So you're thinking like this because that's how human beings operate, all right? That we will go land somewhere, then the door opens, we come out. How do you know that's how they also do it? That's not how it is. I have living experience with certain extraterrestrial life forms.
You do?
Yes, there are a whole lot of videos which I've spoken about. I have a reputation of being very logically correct. Now I don't want to lose it by talking about it to everybody. But in exclusive groups, I've spoken in detail, I've made other people experience these things, very profound experiences of life which is not of this planet. But it's not like a craft will land, they'll open the door, they'll come out. This is all your own thing. You parked the car, you opened the door, you locked the door, you came out. This is your thinking, all right? It is not necessary other life should operate the way we operate. It is nothing like where we are, it's something totally different. So, people have seen things here and there, some of it could be mistakes, some of it could be exaggeration, some of it could be just total lies. But definitely some people have seen something, some people have experienced something. There's no denying, everybody will not be lying. There is no denying, it is there. But we are thinking just the way we are, they will also be. All we can think is a little bigger ears, little bigger eyes, maybe 3 eyes instead of 2. This is just exaggeration of what we already know. Leave the imaginations aside. Is there life beyond us? It would be very pompous to believe that in such a vast cosmos, we are the only evolved life on the planet. In the universe is itself a very pompous belief system. Definitely there is more life and, it is done… we've done things with it in the past.
We've done things with it?
Yes, we've done some experiments with such life, we have made people experience this very strongly.
When you say we, who do you mean?
We as a group, we have done certain things.
You?
Yes.
So how?
Don't go into it.
Why not?
I have a reputation of being very logically correct.
Well, if you're logically correct about extraterrestrials, wouldn't that be beneficial to people that are hearing this?
No.
Why?
See, our logic is related to our existence, the way we are made, all
Yes.
right? The way the existence is made doesn't fit into our logic. This is the biggest mistake that modern societies are making. You're trying to fit the existence into your logic. No, your logic has place in the existence. Existence cannot be… you can't fit it into your logic because your logic functions between binaries of 2. You and me have to be there for logic. The whole spiritual experience itself is not logically correct because the experience of life is beyond 2. There are no binaries in spiritual process. When I use the word spiritual, I am not using the word spiritual the way religions are using. They're talking about a spirit which goes and comes and whatever, not in that sense. If you experience your life beyond your physiological and psychological construct, then you're spiritual.
So, you mentioned it, which is already the most difficult thing to do. Now to talk about it, you feel like would somehow or another discredit you. I don't understand that because…
because there is only thus far that your language goes. When you speak something, human languages, I have to be logically correct, otherwise you cannot speak.
But how
isn't
are
it?
you experiencing this thing? Can you just tell me how you're experiencing these things?
See, in certain spaces, there are very strong presence, which is when you feel the texture of that life, you know it is not like anything that we know here. Obviously, it doesn't belong here. It has a different source than the life that we are. When I say the life that we are, see, this is the yogic sciences. This will confuse people if we go that far, because people are thinking yoga is for backache, yoga is for health, yoga is for slimming down.
We've
like
already
this.
established that's not
Yeah.
the case.
So, yoga means you know the texture of life.
Unity.
That is one thing. I'm talking about the texture of this life. If you know the texture of this life,
Okay.
see, people ask me, how do you know all this? I don't know anything. There's only one thing I know. I know the nature of this piece of life from its origin to its ultimate. Because every other life is in some way built the same way, people think I know every other life. No, I know only this life. But fortunately, every other life, from a single microbe to a human being to every other creature, in some way is a reflection of this life. Because it's all connected. Even the evolutionary sciences are saying the same thing, even the religions are saying the same thing, all right? So, in that sense, I know the texture of this life and that life and every other life here. But there are some lives which don't have the texture, which are totally different.
And how are you experiencing these lives?
You want me to say something ridiculous?
No, no. I don't think it's ridiculous at all.
No, if I say something which is illogical, it'll seem ridiculous,
I
right?
don't think it's illogical.
It will be illogical because it will not fit into the framework of human logic.
Well, the framework of human logic is based on our own experience and interpretation of the life that we lived. It doesn't mean that other people haven't experienced or interpreted something that is beyond our comprehension because we haven't experienced it personally.
See,
I think that's logical.
we have done experiments where we attracted certain life which doesn't have any texture of earthly life.
And how do you conduct these experiments?
I used certain people to invite them into their bodies, and what happened there is totally unbelievable for people, because I'll tell you a simple thing. I invited a certain life into one person's body. I kept… the weather was already like nearly zero, kind of sub-zero kind of atmosphere. It was in Tibet. And I kept a bowl of water about 3 inches above the head. And when this life entered and I tried to hold it within that body, you won't believe, this bowl which is 3 inches, the person is lying down on the ground, on wet soil, they just put a bed sheet and this person is lying down. This bowl is about 3 inches above the head on the ground. The water started boiling. There are over 200 people watching the water boiling, all right? Because it created so much heat, then I let it go because it could burn up the person, fuse out that person in some ways. Because the moment it felt trapped, it created such heat. The water is actually boiling 3 inches away from the…
Did you film this?
Huh? From a distance they filmed it, bad filming, they were not really looking for it, but it is there.
And how many times has this happened?
We did this about… 2 times we did it properly, another time we did a mild one. After that, I thought I will go spend time there, which has never happened. And above all, it doesn't serve any purpose like that,
It doesn't serve a purpose to
It doesn't…
experiment?
it is more to know, not… it doesn't serve a purpose as to how you can use, because it could be… I have to admit, I was stepping into an area where I don't know a damn thing, okay?
Right.
So you could make a mistake and take somebody's life or your own life or something like that.
So whatever these life forms are that you're experiencing, they're only… you can only experience them through another person's body?
No, not like that. Only because I experienced, I wanted to demonstrate it to the people who are watching.
And how did you know that it was a thing? Like, how did you know that you could experience it that way and exhibit it, put it on display for the people that are watching?
Well, see, your whole perception right now for most human being is limited to 5 senses. Seeing,
Yes.
hearing, smelling, tasting, touching. This is how you know the world. If something has no smell, no taste, no touch, you won't know.
But there could be an infinite number of
Oh,
senses
yes.
that we're not aware of,
Yes.
that we don't possess.
So these things I've faced in many places, but there are certain places where there is a unreasonable level of concentration. So one place is this Kailash Manasarova region in Tibet. In last 2 years, we've not been able to go because the Chinese have closed this because of this corona virus or whatever. Probably next year it'll open up. Last year we went, we viewed Kailash and Manasarova from 8 to 10 kilometers away. At the Nepali border, we went there, and even from a distance, what it does to people is unbelievable.
So it's just one concentrated hotspot
Yeah.
of activity.
Yes, and that too, it's like clockwork. Exactly at 2:30 in the morning, it starts. Boom, activity like that for about 1.5 hours, 1 hour 40 minutes like that. After that, it just goes down. It's almost like a busy airport. Boom, 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 things are happening. But not like crafts or anything, just bunches of lives, just up and down, things happening for about 1.5 to 2 hours max.
Do you think they're extraterrestrial? Do you think they're interdimensional? Do you think they're spirits?
They're not spirits.
No?
No. Anything that's related to the planet, we will just know immediately. It's not a…
It's something that's from somewhere else.
It is definitely from somewhere else. And, these are crazy things, man. Why do you want me to speak about this?
No, I don't think they're that crazy. I think they're only crazy because we haven't experienced them. If you tried to explain many of the things that we take for granted because they're normal to someone who's never experienced them, like if you tried to experience fire to someone who had never experienced fire, it would be the craziest idea that you could run across them. That there's a thing that's not alive, but it consumes things, and it could kill all life on this planet, but it could also serve a purpose to heat your home and cook your food.
This is what I'm saying.